A very warm welcome and thank you so much for staying with Katie. So, of course, I'm very glad that we have you in our show today. Of course, this is the Entrepreneurial Spark program, your favorite show that comes on your screens every Wednesday from 8:30 p.m. I'm your host, Regina Olando, and in my show today is a very beautiful lady. That is Teresia Kinja, an entrepreneur. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Kindly to start us off, give us, introduce yourself to us.
Well, my name is Teresia Kinja, and I am a young lady. I like to see myself as that. And I am a dreamer, and that means I come up with a lot of stuff. And currently, being on this show means that I'm an entrepreneur.
Okay.
And, so I set up my business, but mostly I'm a teacher. I like to teach. I mostly teach English, but you'll find me teaching Sunday school as well. Well, I was born in Eldoret. My parents lived in Monyaka, if you know that place. And, I went to school there, but I also changed schools a little bit. I went to high school in Western Kishu High School, and I didn't get to go to college, by the way. It's something I probably will get to do a little bit later in my life. I wasn't the lucky ones, but that didn't stop me from anything because, there's a few things ahead of me which had to be done before college was done. So story for another day. But yeah, so I am just a young girl dreaming and just making my dreams happen. Some of them I'm able to do them on my own. Some of them I have to ask for help from others. But however it works out, the dreamer who makes dreams happen.
Wow. Okay, thank you so much for that explicit introduction. And you've mentioned about an enterprise. So what kind of enterprise are you running?
Well, currently I have a business. It's called Sears. If you had my first name, it's Teresia. And a friend of mine who's American did not like to call me Teresia. So he called me Sia all the time, and I was like, that's kind of cute. So I said, if I ever had a business or a foundation or any program, which I thought I would, later on I'd name it Sia. So it's called Sears, owned by Teresia. And it's a business that I run it mostly online. And I sell a lot of stuff. I've been brought up by parents who do business. My parents have only done business. Again, my parents never went to school because of, I don't know, long stories. But at the end of it, my parents have run their businesses from very small beginnings to what they have now. It might not be the biggest enterprise in Kenya, but they have a lot of things to show for it. So I wanted to follow suit. So Sears is what I started, a business which is run mostly online. But I do piggyback on my mom's shop a lot, and I showcase my wares at my mom's shop. But I sell a lot of my stuff online.
Okay, so when you mention about a lot of stuff, just to mention something.
So I started with things that I am very good at. Fashion. So I started with handbags.
I can see even from the way you have done yourself.
Well, yeah, I do like fashion a lot. I like fashion and design. I'm an artist, so I like color a lot.
You're an artist?
Yes. So I paint. I draw. It's that kind of art, that kind of photography too. But yes, so as an artist, I wanted something that would showcase my other side of knowledge, but still a business. Not necessarily having to paint because that's a kind of different business. I'm not sure if I'd get into it. But, so I started with handbags. So I have a lot of handbags, selling a lot of handbags, and then I moved to wristwatches. And then from then on, I moved to jewelry. And from then on, I have things like speakers, and my mother actually asked me to showcase her stuff on my Facebook page. Yeah, she
so you do that?
She saw that working for me, and she was like, okay, so you could also, just because I don't have enough stock for my shop does not mean I cannot have it from her shop. So thanks, Mom. But yeah, so she lets me also include some of her stuff from her shop in my business because she would also like to see how online business work. So my business is mostly about fashion, so I have a lot of handbags and jewelry and watches, things like that. But from my mom's side of the business, I include things like speakers and radios and subwoofers.
Electronics.
And stuff like that. Electronics, thank
Okay.
you. Yeah.
But yours is fashion.
Yes.
Okay. And just from what you've said that you're a dreamer.
Yes.
Yeah. And obviously a dreamer is somebody who can go for anything.
Yes.
What was the motivation behind coming up with your enterprise?
I am a traveler. That was the beginning. So I know that I like to see the world. And I've always wondered, what is it that I could do to sustain myself as a traveler? I just love traveling. I've traveled a little bit and I like to do more. But many times I'm not able to do that because I don't have the money to do so.
Okay.
But also because my job does not allow me. So what if I started something which would allow me to actually work and earn good money for myself, but also meet all of my dreams. And that's how it began. So an online business, which I'm going to set up starting here at home, which I can expand or do it from whichever part of the world I'd be in, but still manage to work and manage to travel.
Okay.
So all of my dreams.
So when did the dream conceptualize?
This is interesting. I never knew I could do business until I went through a terrible family crisis.
Really?
I cannot speak about it yet because I'm just getting over it with my family. But
Okay.
I was stuck at home these past 3 months. I always travel and I always work abroad. And so for the past 5-6 years I've been away. But when I came back home, I couldn't go away again because something happened in my family.
Okay.
And I was that kind of girl who's like, I cannot sell anything. I mean, I can't even negotiate with anyone. I can't even do. I mean, look at me. Do you think I can give change to people like 20 bucks? I used to do that.
Oh.
And then something happened in my family, and I was like, okay, you're in the middle of this big problem. It could be a problem, or what could you do about it?
Okay.
So I could either sit there and cry about it, or I could turn it for my good. So I was like, you know that verse in the Bible that says everything works together for our good? It took me a while to get there, though. It was not like that, but it took me a second for me to get to, this is something that's working badly in my life. Or could we turn it and make it look like it's working for my good? So that's how I knew that I could actually do business.
Wow.
Yes.
And just the same way you said that you were this type of person who felt like you can't do certain types of businesses that, as in there was that set standard that you wanted to maintain or sustain.
Exactly.
So do you think this is something that is working against most youths in our contemporary society?
Absolutely. And as a teacher, I get to find that out a lot. See, I'm also a teacher and I teach English, but mostly if you hear me speak, you'd know that I'm a motivational speaker.
Sure.
And, I like to teach a lot, but I don't only teach English. Now, this comes up a lot. You have kids who are brilliant in math and physics and all these difficult subjects, as we call them, and they just cannot speak English. And this will stop them from going to big schools. I'm talking about international kids. And my kids, for example, in China, they want to go to school in the States, but they're not allowed to because they're bad English level. Now, they will put themselves down because I'm just bad in English, I cannot make it anywhere in life.
Self-esteem.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's the same principle that works against anybody anywhere. If you want to start a business, you're like, hey, I can't even... One of my mother's friends said to me when she also had a problem in life, she couldn't sell anything in her shop because she just did not want to. She was like, I cannot give anyone change. I mean, she couldn't give back change to anyone. That is what made her close her shop.
You mean?
Like, seriously. And now she runs big businesses, but it took her a minute to get over that. But that works against a lot of young people because we think, well, I cannot be. But if you are, then you still can be, right? That's a lot of technical English terms, but you know what I mean, right? People think that, I am a beautiful girl, and so why would I be walking around saying, I sell handbags, would you like to buy one?
Yeah.
That's a very difficult statement to make.
Some people see it as menial jobs.
Exactly. But I know a lot of people who have turned out to be very, very rich for starters, just by doing that. If you read a lot, there's a lot of books that talk about that. It is a starting point. Are you willing to start? So, are you good enough to start? It's not about the finish. You know where you're going, but are you good enough to start? Everybody's good enough to start. A lot of people refuse that, which does not work for them.
Okay. And you previously told us that you sell some of your stuff at your mom's shop, and of course most of them are online. So why really did you go online? Of course we know that in the contemporary society we see many businesses, many people doing marketing through online forms. So why did you choose an online means?
An advert on TV. I know, TV people must be really happy to hear that. See, I don't know which station I was watching, but they said, I just can quote two parts of it. It was something like, the world's biggest taxi company does not have cars, Uber. And the world's biggest bank does not have cash of its own. And they talked about Amazon, and I was like, actually, that's true. I do not have to be confined by space and by actually what I have for me to get into business. See, if you want to buy stuff from my shop today, you just get on my Facebook. You would text me or call me and say, hi, I was wondering, do you sell iPhone 7? Oh yes, I'm going to sell it. I am going to find it and I'm going to sell it, whether I have it or not. See, that's how good online businesses are. Okay. Because if you are on Facebook, there's this, they call it a call to action button, and then you can click on it, and then you can call or send a message directly to me or to any other entrepreneur. So online businesses, it gives you literally the world. Like it's the world at your fingertips. I can tell you anything, anywhere right now. You know, I'm a Kikuyu, right? And entrepreneurial skills are apparently in us. So we accept that and just move it. Move
Inborn.
it. Exactly. People say that, but actually it's not true. It took me, 25 years? See how old I am? 25 years to discover that I could actually sell stuff. But so the online market gives you a chance to sell anything from anywhere to anyone who's anywhere.
Okay.
And make money out of it.
So what happens when somebody orders something and you don't have that stuff?
I will tell you the truth. I'll actually tell you, this will take me 3 days to get it. Or this will take me 5 days to get it. But I will tell you, because first of all, you'll look at, on my Facebook page, I have what I call services. So you will just look through my services. But some people always ask, I'm one of those people who come to your shop and I see that clearly you're selling, say, mobile phones. And I'll be like, do you have chargers? Like, I'll just say that. That does not mean that you're wrong. It means that maybe that's a chance for me, right? But I might also know someone who does it. Like my mom has a shop and she has all this stuff. So it might take me a minute to get you what you want, but I'll tell you the truth. I'll tell you if I can get it or not. I mean, I might not be able to get you a piece of land, but I might be able to get you the newest phone in town.
Because referrals now.
Yes.
The Entrepreneurial Spark takes a short break, but stay right there with KTS.